Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 129 LK string trimmer. Customer complaint is that it wasn't running right.
Really?
So this is what he did to it. He didn't get it running right on his own. He did not buy the machine from us, and he came in crying warranty. And even though he didn't buy it there, we were Husky dealer and we got to fix it. Well, we don't have a problem fixing it, but if you want to play by the rules, warranty doesn't cover you disassembling the machine that didn't need to be disassembled. This particular unit, it had a running issue, and you're going to see that in the end of the video. But it certainly did not need to be disassembled like this. So let's get this thing put back together and figure out what's actually wrong with it. This is like brand new. The original base gasket is still on here because I don't know that it has more than a couple minutes runtime. The hardest part, I suppose, here is sorting out the screws and getting all the right ones in the right holes. So we're going to screw down this cylinder first and move on from there. I don't think Husqvarna offers a torque spec for this particular model of trimmer. I don't think there's a service manual for it. If there is, I couldn't find it. And I could just torque these to 10 Newton meters, maybe 12, no more than that. But in this case, on these smaller trimmers, a few ugga-duggas is plenty. After you've cranked enough of them down with a torque wrench, you get a feel of how much torque it actually takes to keep them tight. Probably not the right way or the professional way to do it, but that's the way it's happening today. So there we go. We got the cylinder cranked down. Now figure out which screws we're going to hold the muffler on. And really, there's fine thread screws and there's coarse thread screws. And then you have different lengths of screws. And a different count for each size. So it's kind of easy to figure out what goes where. If the cover's got 9 screws and you got 9 coarse thread short screws, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? So I'm going to get these screws started into the heat shield here on the muffler. Heat shield, gasket, I think it's a heat shield. We had a little bit of aluminum on the threads of that one screw, so I'm kind of being careful here not to just grab the bit driver and ram these things home. I didn't want to get them started and make sure they're going to go in there the way they should. You want to remember to put this muffler on before the engine goes back into the clutch housing side of the case, because that screw right there I think is hidden. And actually, if you look at the grill on the muffler heat shield, that gray plastic area, there's a bit of an opening right there, I think, where you can reach through with a wrench to check the tightness on that muffler. And I have in the past backed that screw out through that grate and gotten the muffler off of the machine without unbolting it from there. You can see how that muffler, that bolt hole is kind of hidden in there. So now we're trying to get some alignment pins lined up here on the engine. That heat shield gasket on the intake side is got to be tucked in just exactly in the right spot, otherwise this won't go together the way it should. It feels a little wonky, so we're just going to keep working it until we get it where it belongs. And I think right now there might be a tank grommet that's on the bottom of the fuel tank that is making it feel like this isn't going back together right. Just take your time and don't force anything together. You can end up cracking plastic or something like that. I think I ended up getting the wrong screw in that hole right there. We're going to go back and figure out which one belonged in there. I must have got it straightened out. Now, he forgot to bring me one piece. There should be a gasket here on the carburetor. And I don't know if he lost it or if I lost it, but I need to get one. So luckily we got a handy dandy universal gasket kit. Doesn't look like I got what I need. And then at the last minute, whoa, what's in the bag? That one's going to work for us. So I find that slipping the gasket over the bolts that hold the carburetor on and then putting the whole carb and air box assembly on with the gasket, that seems to work best. I mean, how else would you do it anyway, right? If you try and hold the gasket up there and then hold the carburetor up there and then hold the air box up there, it ain't gonna work. Now remember, we're going into plastic here, so just don't get carried away. Again, this one's plastic. Coarse thread screw into plastic. Now he's got the handle taken apart as well. So there is a locating screw kind of in the middle of the handle. We'll put that one in first. And then there's a series of screws around the outer edge of the handle that hold the two halves together. And we'll run all them home. Again, a small diameter screw going into plastic. Okay, the pile of screws is getting smaller. Looks like there's 8 of them laying there yet. 3 of them are going to be fine thread, and those are going to go around the starter assembly. It's fighting me a little bit, but just keep working on that and it'll go together. Alright, let's put our air filter together. I want to get this thing all put together the way it was before he took it apart, and fire it up, and then try and diagnose what the problem actually is. And you're going to find out here that it just needed a carburetor adjustment. I mean, I think they may have bought this online or from a big box store, and it never actually had a dealer carburetor adjustment. So we're going to do that for them. So that's all I got for you on the Husqvarna 129 LK string trimmer carburetor adjustment. Thanks for watching. Later.